Oh, hey, yeah, sorry, I saw that in Cammie's note that there was a senior shout out on Monday, so that's why I put it in there, but I'll tweak it. It'll be something about schools, but I'll tweak that part. Oh, oh, awesome, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on After GMS, a little ditty we put together every day, Monday through Friday on Facebook Live. Can you imagine if we had to come in on Saturday and Sunday for this? Yeah. Okay, we're not imagining that. We are going to instead focus on the forecast. Taran Kirksey, I was surprised by all the rain this morning, but I mean, I'm sure you saw it on the radar days ago.
Well, you know, we were looking at the possibility of a couple of showers this morning when I was looking at some of the projections yesterday, but there's a little boundary that's set up over the area, and it really fired up quickly right around 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning, and it's been going ever since. We'll show you radar in just a second. Just want to give you the 7-day forecast real quick. And our best chance of rain is, at least for the next few days, is today. Over the weekend, we're looking at just isolated showers and storms, so most of us dry. But as that happens, our temperatures will get warmer. So today, looking to be the coolest day that we see over the next 7 days. And I use the word cool very loosely because it's still going to be pretty warm with highs today in the upper 80s. But we'll take whatever relief we can get. All right, a quick look at radar here, and you see the rain moving on through. And the way that it's oriented kind of from east to west means that it could actually be raining for a while before this starts to fizzle out, as this activity is just kind of slowly sliding to the east, southeast. So we still have some pockets of moderate rainfall in spots across the Triad this morning. Also some rainfall across the foothills as well. Surrey County, Stokes County, Yadkin County, Wilkes County, all getting in on the action as well. So we'll just keep an eye on radar for the next several hours. If you have plans on heading out or about, let's say through 9-10 o'clock this morning, just know there could be some ponding on the roadways. So we do expect a bit of a break in the activity through midday, and then we'll see more showers and storms pop up through the afternoon. That's a quick look at your forecast.
Well, the rain heavy at times this morning. WFMY News 2's Candace Red shows us what it looks like in Greensboro.
I'm at the Brassfield Shopping Center on Battleground Avenue in Greensboro. This morning, I'm reporting from inside of the News 2 vehicle to ensure safety due to on and off again lightning. Right now, you're looking at video of road conditions on Interstate 40 in Guilford County. As you can see, the road is wet and slippery. According to the National Weather Service in Raleigh, several counties across North Carolina can expect a few storms today. That includes Guilford and Forsyth counties. The storms may become strong to severe with damaging winds. Forecasters say the primary threat is mainly between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Also, the risk of heavy rainfall and the slow movement of showers and storms may produce areas of flooding. Wet weather may sound like no big deal, but statistics show wet pavement contributes to 1.2 million traffic crashes each year. If you plan on hitting the road despite the storms, make sure your vehicle is in tip-top shape. That means all headlights, tail lights, brake lights, and turn signals work properly. And don't forget to turn on your headlights whenever you are driving in a storm. And as always, be sure to follow all road laws.
Well, the battle over coronavirus benefits continues. Republicans want to give Americans an incentive to work. Democrats say, however, their strategy is to give out generous funds to keep the economy going. This is our first conversation, and we want to hear from you this morning. How much should unemployment benefits pay out if extended? Or do you think it should be extended at all? Let us know in the comments section while we dig a little deeper. So here's the story here. 2 months ago, you might remember, House Democrats voted to continue the payment into January 2021. But many Republicans said that would discourage people from returning to work, especially in states where that money is higher than one would normally make on minimum wage. Financial experts say the checks, which are currently going out to about 31.8 million people, are essential to keep the U.S. economy afloat, because as long as people have money, they say they'll continue to spend it. Senators say they're considering all the options, including a short-term extension of the $600 benefit or reducing it to a lower amount and offering that until the new year. Now, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin proposed giving jobless workers 70% of their former wages. All right, we want to dive into this conversation. I will be monitoring your comments on our live stream, but I want to start here. You know, we talked about this earlier, Taran. It's hard to say what people need and what people don't need because everyone's experience is different.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone has their own, individual situation that they have to, go through or deal with. And I certainly empathize with that. And on top of that, I'm not really up to speed on the particular details as far as the numbers. I mean, what is the average amount that people may need, or is there a way to figure out, what people need individually? Is that even feasible or possible for the government to do? I can't really speak on it. All I can say is, for people that are out of work, again, I certainly empathize and I feel for you and understand it's definitely a bad situation. And so we're all hoping that we can get back to some sense of normalcy sooner rather than later, for sure.
All right, Meg, Taran brings up great points. I know you have others. It's one of those things, it's hard to be a lawmaker right now, or really someone who's struggling right now. Let's put it on that end.
Yeah, there's just no easy decision any way you look at it. The people making the decisions and the people who are being impacted by them. I certainly echo Taran's empathy to anyone who has lost a job. I cannot even imagine how that feels, especially when you have young children at home. You're trying to make sure they're fed every day from day to day. That just has to be a very stressful situation on top of what's already going on right now. But, I think ultimately, unemployment is not intended to be something that is permanent. I hope that people who are affected by job losses are able to find resources in their communities that can help them work toward finding employment opportunities, something that might be suitable for them, even if just temporary right now, and maybe a stepping stone toward a longer term job with higher pay at some point. But this is an option that people are depending on right now. Unemployment benefits are important. The extra $600 people were getting from the federal government was helping make the difference of paying rent for some people, putting food on the table. So, I thank God every night for my employment. I don't take it for granted. I really empathize with people who are going through this hard time right now. And ultimately, there are resources available in our communities. And so reach out to us too if you have questions. We often cover these stories about people with job opportunities or companies looking to hire, so we can help you find maybe something that can help you get to what you're looking for.
All right, people are starting to weigh in, but I felt like it was important to mention that the moratorium or the extension on some of those evictions, utility payments, those end at the end of the month. So just as this extra $600 benefits is ending, so is the expiration, or excuse me, the moratorium for those benefits. So something to think about here as you make out or budget yourself for the next month. All right, Jessica Richards says, people shouldn't make more money from home than they should at work. With 2 likes on that comment. Heather Harness says they should extend it, but they should give something extra to essential workers who have been on the front line working the entire time. This includes WFH essential workers like me. Latoya says, so true. Jessica, she agrees with that original comment. Julie said, some still work from home but have seen a drastic cut in funds. Donna says, for some people, that $950 a week is a pay cut. Jessica also said, for most, it's the most money that they've ever made. We're also hearing from Shanita Mason Nadurin, who said, some of us actually make more than $600 a week. So yes, extending unemployment will be helpful to a lot of households. And Donna says essential workers still have health insurance. People who laid off don't. They have to go to the doctor and it will cost them more out of pocket. So a lot of different comments here, and we certainly understand everybody's situation, and that's the hard part about that, is that everyone has a different circumstance. My husband was basically out of work. I mean, even though he was considered an essential employee, he was out of work for months. So, that hit us really hard. We were able to make ends meet because we had, some savings, and, we just cut back on so much stuff, and we made it through that. But it's now prepared us for the future. Like, okay, so if this should ever happen again, because I actually have an employer, he's a self business, right. So we have to think differently about how we budget for our family in the future, because I never thought he would ever be like someone who was home more than me. So that was definitely an eye-opening experience for us. Yeah. Certainly don't hope it happens again, but we are prepared for it if it does. We did not receive any benefits, by the way, during that time. So something to think about as we all, have a different experience. Yeah. Did you guys want to weigh in on anything else before we move to headlines? I don't want to cut you off if you do.
Yeah, I'll say something. I heard from a viewer named Matt on my page. He said this pandemic has afforded him a new opportunity that he might not have had otherwise. He said he was laid off from his previous employer. He got a new job and is making more now in the first 8 weeks than he did in years with his other employer. So for some folks, this has been an opportunity to get out there, see what else is available, and for some, find better paying or better benefit jobs.
Yeah. Well, we certainly hope the best out there, and we'll keep you updated on what, Congress decides. They actually have a deadline, August 7th, I believe it is, before leaving again for a recess, and then they won't be back till September. So the sooner that they can kind of come together and figure out what's best, the better. All right, Meg, let's move on to our headlines.
Yeah. Yeah, those storms out there this morning, they started yesterday in much of the Triad and caused some damage. Look at this. A tree crashed and split a home in two in Winston-Salem. Cleanup crews say the tree came down on the house after several lightning strikes yesterday. They say it destroyed the house's foundation. The homeowner was inside at the time, and thankfully she's okay. The tree also hit a second home, causing minor damage. President Donald Trump has announced he is canceling the Jacksonville, Florida portion of the Republican National Convention set for next month as Florida struggles to contain the spread of COVID-19. For the nomination, the president said a meeting of delegates will still happen as planned in Charlotte.
Well, President Trump is heading to North Carolina next week. He's coming to Mooresville, just outside of Durham, on Monday. He will tour a facility that helps make components for a possible COVID-19 vaccine. Right now, it's in phase 1 of clinical trials. He is expected to make a speech after his tour on Monday. Well, parents and teachers rejected the Alamance-Burlington school system's plan, and immediately the district made changes. The school year will now begin with 9 weeks of remote learning only instead of a blended learning program. After the first 9 weeks, the district plans to move to a combination of in-person and remote learning. Of course, it's all subject to change. All right, let's turn to our second conversation this morning. It's all about the pandemic. It shifted some advertisement support on social media. But one social media platform reports a record increase in users during this time. Twitter says their average daily user growth spiked 34% in the second quarter. Reports came out yesterday, and the amount of new users is more than 186 million. This is during a pandemic. An eMarket analyst says this jump is not expected, and she thinks as people return to their normal activities and routines, doing more things outside, they'll spend less time on social media. So this morning we want to know, are you on social media more since the pandemic? We'll take a look at your responses as you have time to write them in on our chat section, and we'll turn to Taran first. Taran, you've been pretty active on Twitter, probably more so than I've ever seen you.
Yeah, if it was up to me, I'd only send maybe like one tweet a month or something like that, and that would be the end of it. But I think I've been a little more active on social media than I used to. Just I guess I don't have a commute, so it gives me a little bit more time to kind of look and see. But I think I don't know. Overall, it's one of those things where sometimes you use Twitter as an escape from what's going on, especially if there are funny accounts. I follow an account that tweets out like Wikipedia pages that you can read to the theme of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's pretty funny. Anyway, I love it. And so I look at that, or I look at just kind of funny tweets, or even tweets of animals and things like that. Just something I like turtles, so that's one of my things. So little animals, or just old TV shows, things like that. Just things that just try to make you feel a little bit better when all the bad stuff's going on. I kind of try to filter some Twitter accounts out at times so I'm not just bombarded with what's going on that day, because man, it's the past few months certainly can be taxing on the brain for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely all of what you do and don't need in one place, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Megan, what do you think? Are you more active on Twitter or any social media platforms these days?
I would say I'm probably about the same amount active on social media platforms as I was before. As being journalists, this is part of our jobs now. So, but we're hearing from Charlotte, who says she's on social media less, and she says the point that I was going to make too. People have gotten so mean that she tries to stay away from the negativity. I will agree with that, Charlotte. I think this pandemic has brought out the best and worst of people on social media. The best being they've been staying connected with family members who maybe live farther away, who they haven't been able to see because of health concerns with this ongoing virus. So that's been a great use of social media, allowing families to stay connected and up to speed on what they're doing. But as far as the negativity, I've seen people be so mean to each other, disagreeing about how government should handle this pandemic. Keep in mind, it's also an election year, so anytime people talk about politics on social media, that gets heated right away. Very divisive comments, people saying things that maybe they wouldn't say to someone's face. I agree, Charlotte, and I think all of us just need to try to remember to think before we speak or type, and that applies to social media as well, especially in this age when so many of us are feeling stir crazy. We are frustrated by this pandemic. We all want it to end, but we are all in this together, and there will be the other side of this eventually.
Yeah, I got to tell you, if Twitter is one of those necessary evils, right? You want to see the information, you want to see what people are talking about, but then when you get there, you're like, oh my gosh, did they really just say that? And it's one of those things where you're like, why did I click on this hashtag? But it's one of those curiosity kills the cat every single time. I will say that I don't really feel like Twitter is more divisive now than it was before. I think it's always been a kind of a rodeo of, anybody can say whatever they want and not really be, condemned or rejected for it. I've gotten plenty of hate on Twitter before. I don't like it, but I love that block button. It's my best friend. I don't think it's any more or less hateful than it was before, but it can also be used for good. So we are looking at comments here. Megan, you read a few, but I did see some others weighing in. Martian Life Slade said, more active, mainly looking for jobs and checking on family, plus the news is on Facebook now. Love it. Deborah Jones Davis says, it is a break from the monotony of the world outside. And Jennifer Freeman said, definitely more. She's shopping. And let's see if I can find one more here. Carol Harris said, less, just because I get tired of the negativity. Jessica Richards also loves the block button. She said, I block the negativity. I don't want to see it. Yeah, and Vanessa says, just trying to keep connected with long-distance family. So it's one of those things, again, where you have the option to look at it, and if you don't like it, then you can block it and make sure that you don't see it again. But at the same time, what if we just stopped clicking at all? Imagine that. What if we just stopped doing it? Well, I don't want to assume that we should do away with social media altogether, but it is a free market here. Ideas, comments, whatever you want.
Yeah, it's just a big old soup of everything when you get on the internet. There's no telling what you might run across. So yeah, I mean, just try to protect your own peace, as the kids say. And if you need to filter out the bad stuff, filter out the bad stuff. Just follow things that make you happy if that's what you need to do, and just try to make the best of it, because like you said, there's good and bad and everything, and there's good stuff on Facebook. You can stay connected with friends and family if you wish, or you can dive in and get into long arguments with people that you know that's what you enjoy doing, even though you're not going to change their mind anyway. So I try to avoid those for sure.
I remember the last negative comment I got because it was on Flag Day, and any day that's associated with a holiday or some type of ritual is remembered more. So it was June 14th of this year. Someone called me unpatriotic because I wasn't wearing red or blue.
Okay, listen.
Oh no.
I know, and I wanted to say, well, what about white? I could have worn white today, but I just decided, I was like, I love my country, and I have so many family members who fought for our country, and I respect everything that my family has done for our country and what I do for our country, and so I'm just gonna, and all of a sudden I felt better.
That's what you have to do. That's the most ridiculous thing listen, Tracy is so nice. Like, I don't understand why people would even think to say something like that. And like I've said before, we all view life through a different lens. We all have our own individual view of life, our own individual, way that we think that things should be done. Friends and family, I disagree with the way they say and do things all the time. They probably disagree with the way I say and do things all the time. But at the end of the day, are we really nitpicking stuff that small? I don't even think about what color shirt or tie that I wear before I even put it on. Like, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. That's why I look the way I look. So why?
And you worked that day with me, Taran. I was going to text you and be like, did you get a comment? Because you didn't have on anything.
Most of the time, I don't. I don't even know. I had to go back and look. I probably did, and that's fine. I'm all about accepting criticism. You can say what you want. I mean, most of the time, I tune it out anyway. I've always been a pretty hard-headed guy, so I kind of dance to the beat of my own drum and let the chips fall where they may.
Exactly.
That's who I am. But yeah, just be nice, people. Just be nice. We can disagree and not be disagreeable. Just be nice. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
I like that. All right, Meg, before we go to weather, did you want to add anything in?
Yeah, well, I just want to say that it's all about love on social media today, especially for you, Tracy, because as you said on GMS, you are celebrating a special birthday today. You've gotten so many happy birthday comments on this feed, on my page, on other platforms, your own page. Everybody wishes you the very best day. You bring such a joy to not only this show on air, but also off air. You do so much in the community, and we're so grateful for you, and you're such a good friend. So thanks for being you, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of your birthday wishes. My son is planning a pizza party for me because it's his favorite meal. He's also planning cupcakes for me because it's also his favorite dessert. So I am ready to have my birthday with my son, who is planned it all out in his way. Exactly. All right, Taran, what's the forecast for the day?
Well, the good news is the temperatures will be a little bit cooler today. I think most of us will only make it into the upper 80s, but we will see the chance of showers and storms from time to time. Not going to rain everywhere, but where the storms do form, as we've seen this morning, they will produce some heavy rainfall. The weekend looking drier but warmer. And then as we go through the rest of next week, pretty much more of the same. Temperatures are going to be in the 90s well into next week, with a chance of pop-up showers and storms almost each and every day, although Monday is looking mainly dry at the moment. We'll keep you updated on that.
All right, thanks so much for joining us on this Friday edition of, do we have Best of GMS? I'm just asking my producer. Okay, this Friday edition of After GMS, we are going to show you some of the best moments from the week in a segment we like to throw together called The Best of GMS. Take care, and everybody have a great weekend. Mark this moment in time in history, guys. It could be a first for July 2020 at least. We're all here. Like, we're all here. When does that happen last? I don't know. This forecast has me like, I just need like a personal sized fan to like walk around with. My hand just doesn't have the speed that I need to fan myself effectively.
It's the same old song.
I'm trying to fan you off too.
Different day. There you go.
That guy right in the middle, you know him. He is like the man of the Good Morning Show.
Oh,
Ed
you're way
Matthews.
too nice, girl.
Well, you know, my birthday's coming up. I just want something nice.
Oh, I'm taking notes this morning.
I gotta butter you up a little bit. I'm Tracy McCain here in the studio. Taran Kirksey. Oh, is that a cheer? Are we getting
I think
cheers?
we are. I hear that too.
Wow, thank you everyone. That was kind of nice feedback there. Usually that's what happens in my own head when I say, hey, I'm Tracy McCain, people start cheering, but never have I actually heard it.
If you encounter a bear, you want to identify yourself by talking slowly so the bear doesn't think you are prey.
I will keep that in mind. My name is Tracy McCain. I am an award-winning journalist at WFNY News 2. Please do not eat me. I guess the long-running best meteorologist in the world.
Oh my
Ed
goodness.
Matthews. You know what I'm doing, right?
Hey, all I had to do is give her $20 and she said all that, okay?
It was well worth it.